Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will explain what you need to do initially with an orchid that comes to your home, is given as a gift, or that you have purchased. For example, this orchid that was given as a gift, it's decorated like a bride, with ribbons attached, sticks placed, clips are there, and the bottom part is completely covered with paper. As I said, it's decorated like a bride. It came as a gift like this. When you receive an orchid like this, you can keep it in this condition for about 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, there's no problem with that. But if you keep it like this for a long time, the flowers will wilt soon, and the orchid will deteriorate. So, what should we do about this? If you want at first these ribbons, you may not remove them. Why do we want to remove these? We want the flower to breathe. Okay, let the ribbons stay. The stems attached to these sticks, are secured with clips. Fine. Let them stay with those. Let's not touch these, but we need to remove the ribbon below. First, let's take this off from here. It may look very nice decoratively, but it causes great harm to the flower. This is what I was afraid of. In this way, porcelain. Or what is this? Plastic. They are keeping it in a plastic pot. Okay, as I said before, it may look nice, but we need to take it out of this plastic container. Yes. We will use our orchid in this way. There are some decorative orchid pots. There are orchid pots. There is also one like this below. At first you can place it inside this. Now I will do it the same way with this orchid. I will place it inside this. Let it stay like this for now. Why should it stay like this for now, I say? Its flowers haven't wilted yet. When the flowers have wilted, that is, when they start to fall, we will perform root maintenance and also prevent the drying that starts from the top down. We will take some measures. How does this happen? Let me give an example. Now these flowers have fallen. After they fall, this branch will start to dry from the top down. Here. Let's find a path where it has dried. For example, it dried here. Look. Something caught my attention here. I can give K2 from here. Or it might give a branch the day after tomorrow. That's why, after the drying starts, for example, we will cut it from this side. After cutting, we will sprinkle powdered cinnamon on the cut area. Let's watch the video of the orchid on which I previously performed this process. Then let's continue. This orchid had bloomed before. Then, its stem dried up, 200 centimeters below after it dried. I cut it from the spot you see here. I sprinkled cinnamon powder on it to prevent it from drying out, so it wouldn't come down any further. And it immediately sprouted a branch from just below it. And as you can see, the flowers here were quite healthy. There are also buds in the front. They will bloom even more. Look, it's in a transparent pot again. As I mentioned earlier, I don't keep it in a pot where its white roots won't receive light. I water it regularly once a week. And right now I've taken it out to the balcony. I'm filming it from there. But normally, it receives light from behind the curtain in the living room. We can apply this to both branches, so we won't wait for it to dry all the way down. If you wait for it to dry all the way down, you'll have to wait for new branches to sprout from below. That can take time as well. Therefore, as soon as it starts drying from the top, cut it immediately. Also, do not touch the root maintenance at all right now. Let your plant wait like this. Because at the place where you bought it, or at the place where it was purchased, they have already provided water with orchid vitamins into this soil. These flowers can last for about a week, or depending on the environment, maybe 2 to 3 weeks more. But after a while they will fall off. Of course, naturally, where should you store this in your home? The place where you will store it. Let me put it this way. Can be in front of a window. But when I say in front of a window, I mean like this, in a way that it receives light through the curtain. If the sheer curtain is open and the sun, directly hits the orchid, it will burn the orchid. Therefore, when you place the orchid in front of a window that receives sunlight, make sure the curtain behind it is closed, so that it filters the sunlight and gives it to the orchid. Believe me, it will live longer. Orchid. My orchid? I want to change the flower pot already. Or, I will change its soil. I want to do root maintenance. No, you never do this while it has flowers. The flowers are wilting. After they wilt, you proceed to root maintenance. How should root maintenance be done? Because the orchid that comes from the store definitely has a sponge in the middle of its root. That sponge needs to be removed. It causes the roots to rot. After removing that sponge, you can use the same orchid soil you have been using. There are extra ones sold on the market. Since the pot is large, you will need a bit more orchid soil. After adding a bit more orchid soil once a week, you can mix orchid vitamins with water in a certain ratio and give it to your plant. Occasionally, make sure to wipe the soil of your orchid with regular water. Some people use alcohol, but do not use cologne or anything like that. You can lightly dampen a clean cloth and clean the orchid leaves. I will show you a small piece from the video I previously published about root care. Then, let's continue. When you receive them, there is usually a sponge inside these orchids. For example, look at this. It directly damages the roots when it's soaking wet. As soon as this orchid arrives, throw it away, immediately. Clean the horse's roots, like that. These, roots, you see? We need to use the green roots. Therefore, I will cut and discard the yellowed ones. First, I need to take care of the roots in this way. Because when we look at the number of leaves, it's a good orchid. It has already bloomed like this. It has a yellow stem, the dried out stem. Orchids are plants of warm climates. In home conditions. 20-25 degrees is suitable for them. You can access the full video of this segment from the link above. There you will find all the information from A to Z about orchid root care, watering, and how they should be maintained. Later you can remove these ribbons again. It needs to remain simple. Of your flower, you will water it once a week. Approximately. Root care. At most, let me tell you this. Do not perform continuous root care or soil change every 6 months or even once a year. But if you really want to, once a month or every 2 months. Immerse the entire pot in water after soaking it for about 2 minutes and draining the water. You can maintain it this way. I also want to say this. If your orchid likes a spot, do not change its place again. In other words, if the orchid's location is frequently changed, it might sulk and not bloom. If it likes its place, it will bloom more beautifully there. I mentioned this in my previous video as well. They store it in a closed cabinet to stress it out, so it will bloom. No, you should give it regular orchid vitamins. Do not give it hard water. Drinking water, or it can be water that has been boiled and then rested beforehand. It will be much better if you add vitamins to it. I have told the lies. Orchid. How does it bloom? How should orchid root care be done? I also have videos related to this topic. You can access them from the links at the end of this video. When you take a general look at the roots of the orchid, there are actually no problematic roots. These are aerial roots. It's quite normal for them to be outside. When we look at the other roots, there aren't actually that many green ones, but there are also no black and rotten roots. I think it looks quite healthy. Currently, this orchid doesn't need any care. Like this. It looks quite healthy. Only the leaves got a bit deformed during transport. And it will bloom even more. As I said, place it in a fixed spot. Don't fuss with it too much. Once it likes its place, it will continue like this. I'm repeating about the watering. Once a week. There are orchid vitamins. You won't make the water too diluted with orchid vitamins. Let me mention that as well. Because at the bottom of these pots, there are holes. Let me lift it like this. Water will already drain from these holes. But the drained water shouldn't stay inside the container. So when you water it, you can even place it inside a container like this. Let it sit for about 2-3 minutes. Let the roots get thoroughly wet. Do not let water drip on the leaves. In other words, do not let water get between them. It will cause rot. Be careful. Do not pour directly between them as if emptying a pitcher. Just place it inside a basin. Up to here. Up to this level, thoroughly. These tree barks. Mostly these are pine trees. Let these tree barks get thoroughly wet. Let it sit for 1-2 minutes. Then take it out. Place it back on the counter like this. Let the water inside drain completely. After draining, place it back into its own pot. Even if you change its soil, you can still use this pot. There are holes at the bottom of this as well. Let me show you like this. Look, there are holes in this too. So there will definitely be no water left inside. Pay attention to this. If it's a soggy soil, I wouldn't call it soil. If the tree bark is in a soggy environment, the roots will rot. That's why you should only moisten it. Then put it back in place. If you like this video, please don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to watch my next videos.